and we have on the line now Tony, who I do believe is the security guard that has quit at Muskrat Falls. Tony, are you there?
Yes, yep.
Tony, what happened? Just tell us what led to your deciding to pack it in there at Muskrat Falls.
Well, it's not at Muskrat Falls. It's actually at the office on Torrey Road.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was employed there for a few days this week.
Right.
And the protesters only showed up today.
Right.
And I got to have a conversation with a few of the protesters. I was told that I was not allowed to speak to the protesters. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I told the person who told me that they're people, they're peaceful, and if I want to have a conversation with them, I'll have a neutral conversation with them, and they didn't seem to like that. And then throughout the day, it only got worse, and, I mean, the way the staff talk about the protesters is absolutely terrible.
So you're privy to their conversations, their attitude towards the protesters.
I was inside at the time, and you know, I only stopped working at the Nalcor office. I said I wouldn't return there. I wouldn't take any more of their money.
Okay, you're working for a separate firm contracted to provide security to that Nalcor office.
That's correct.
Okay, so you're not going back to that location. How does your company feel about that?
Well, I'm probably going to end up losing the job altogether.
Right. So had you been there before? Had you spent any time at that particular location before?
Yes. This would be my third day this week there.
Okay.
And the way that they talk about the protesters was absolutely terrible. I mean, there was one guy, I'm not going to identify anybody there, but there's one guy who started saying stuff about, I'm not sure, 100% sure of the guy who's on a hunger strike up in Labrador. I'm not sure of his name.
Oh, Mr. Billy Gauthier, yeah.
Yeah.
There are four of them, actually, but they were referring to him?
Yeah, well, I'm not... They only said hunger strike. I don't think they said a specific name.
Okay.
They ordered a bunch of pizza because nobody was allowed out of the building. Mm-hmm. And they started saying, there was only one guy in particular who was saying that we should go tell them we're on a hunger strike while we're eating pizza, or maybe we can just feed them little bits of pizza through the door. And, I mean, the way they were talking was absolutely disgraceful, and after that, I had so much anxiety and so much, I realized that I don't want to take their money if this is actually how they treat people.
Tony, I have to ask you some questions, which I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering. Do you have any affiliation or natural ties to the people protesting the project, or are you in Labrador?
No.
Perhaps you're just an empathetic bystander who happened to be there because of your work.
Yeah.
Okay. And even if this costs you your job, you're comfortable with the decision you made today?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you say anything to the people in Nalcor about what they were saying?
No,
Did you make any statement whatsoever about the conversations you heard?
I turned around and walked out of the lunchroom at the time.
So they weren't necessarily even aware of your reaction or attitude towards their statements?
No.
Well, they're going to know now, no question.
Yeah.
And it's curious to me that given you were essentially someone from outside the company, that they would feel comfortable carrying on as they might in private between themselves. Don't you find that weird?
I mean,
to make that assumption that you were going to be okay with whatever they were saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was in there and I was having I was just talking to them. We were, they ordered pizza, and I was like, no, I don't want any pizza. And then that's when the comments were made. I mean, we were just having a friendly conversation. I've been there for a few days, but I think the comments that were made were absolutely disrespectful. And one of the protesters actually said, crying today, and after seeing that, you gotta think that how seriously is Nalcor taking these protesters? They're not listening to them. They're not giving them any time of the day.
Well, according to your description of what you heard or what you witnessed, it would sound like they're somewhat contemptuous of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you have any exchange with the protesters after you made this decision?
I had a conversation with a couple of them, but
you made them aware of what you were doing, what your decision was?
Yep.
And their response was?
They said thank you. They appreciated the support.
You're clearly pretty emotional about this.
Yep.
And purely based on the attitude you experienced from these people towards the protesters and their plight.
Yes, I mean, this is the first time I've actually seen protesters, and that's not on TV or the news. And I've seen the protesters and seen how passionate they were about the cause, and I mean, something needs to be fixed.
Did you have an opinion about the project or about these various aspects of it before you took this job or were involved in this particular work?
My opinion, I mean, I didn't really have much. I read the news every day, and I know what's going on. But I thought that the project created jobs, and it was good for the economy. And I didn't really see much of the other side until protesters showed up today, and they were talking between each other, and I was just overhearing a few conversations about how stuff's basically being destroyed. And I mean, in reality, stuff is going to be destroyed because of this project.
Tony, when do you think you'll get some determination by your company as to whether or not you're still employed with them?
I would say that'll be pretty immediate.
And you've never taken this stand before. How long have you been with the company?
I've been with the company close to 5 years.
Okay, so it's not a new job, it's something you've been doing for a while, and you've been in all sorts of situations.
Yep.
Well, a significant decision made by you, and no doubt you don't know what follows this, but you felt it was necessary based on your experiences today.
That's correct.
All right, sir, anything else before we say goodbye for today? I do appreciate you being in touch with us.
No, I got nothing else to add.
Okay, well, all the best, and thank you for your time.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye. Wow. That's got some people scrambling at Nalcor, I would think. Let's talk to...